Welcome to the Sherriff Amenity stand. I'll just do a bit of a sort of intro as to what we're doing here and what it's all about. We've been dealing with the STRI for about 10 years, primarily looking at fungicide technology, mixing and matching different active ingredients with a view to reducing rates and the amount of chemical that's going out onto turf. So what we've been looking at primarily is mixing two products together either at half rate, and you see we've got numerous of those out in the marketplace already, and then latterly we've been looking at mixing things like seaweed and nutrition with different rates of fungicide. So this particular trial itself is based on headway fungicide, fossil, which is a phosphite silica product, roller, which gets the chemical into the plant quicker, Go Green liquid iron, and Primo Max. So what you've actually got here is 17 different plots, going from a standard which has had nothing on it at all, going up with each individual product added, and then multiples of the products added. Two main ones that we're really looking at is headway at half rate plus all the additives, and headway at full rate plus all the additives, to see if at half rate we can still get the same sort of control as we do at full rate. Tom's going to talk you through the actual trials, how it's set up, and what they're doing, and then Matt will talk about how we then correlate those results together. We're working with the STRI, trying turf reports for the first time, which is a system that pulls all the results together to allow you to see if there's any trends that are going on within the trial. Okay, so I'll pass you on to Tom.
So I'm Tom, one of the research managers here. So as Neil said, we've been running trials for Sherriff now for about 10 years, and they've all gone along a similar kind of theme of all goes back to integrated turf management. So just to kind of go all the way back to the beginning, I'm sorry if it's kind of old news to everyone, but integrated turf management, one of the main aspects of that is the cultural practices that guys are doing on the ground. So things like switching your greens to remove surface moisture, lots of aeration, keeping the moisture in the root zone lower down, reducing your thatch levels, reducing any shade on the turf. So all these things are designed to A, increase the turf health, so they are more resilient to disease, as well as if you do get disease, they should recover a lot quicker. And then B is to also remove the environment that disease likes, kind of sweaty, humid, damp conditions. But then also part of integrated turf management is the fungicide application. I don't think anyone's under any illusions that fungicide applications aren't needed. Clearly you'll have to apply them at some point, but the whole point of integrated turf management is that you do them in a sensible way. So you don't apply too much, and then obviously that has environmental knock-on effects as well as cost effects, but then you don't want to apply too little, because then you might then have to go out and app 2 weeks time, and it's kind of defeat the object of applying a smaller amount. So in previous trials for Sherriff, we've been looking at various different products you can put in and tank mix with the fungicide to try and improve the benefit that fungicide provides to the turf. So we've had good results in the past with iron products. So that has shown that obviously applying a fungicide has reduced the disease pressure, but then adding a iron product with that, it just slightly but significantly reduced the disease pressure, just that little bit more. So applying the iron product by itself probably wouldn't have done a huge amount, but because it's in combination with the fungicide, it will have an effect. And we saw a similar effect with Vision Pro again, in terms of turf recovery, masking the effects of the disease, as well as making sure the disease pressure is not quite as strong. So this is quite a big trial. It goes from this end all the way up to the end of the trial plot. We've got 17 different treatments. The reason we've got so many is that we've got all the different products that Neil was talking about, and then we've layered them up in combination with the fungicide. So by doing that, we can tell what difference adding an extra product makes, and then if you add another product to that, what that can all make. So the ultimate treatment, which is this one, which has got all 5 products together. So we've got 3 replications as well of every single treatment. That's the way we run trials. We like to have the data is to be scientifically robust. By replicating the treatment across different areas of the trial grounds, we can say with a degree of confidence that that treatment is causing that little bit extra disease resistance. So in terms of just kind of a background level, this plot here is an untreated plot, so that's had nothing applied to it apart from just the kind of a light fertilisation at the start of the trial. And then can anyone else really pick out, there's not huge differences at the moment, and the light makes it quite hard, but there are a few differences that have come out already. I don't know if anyone wants to point out what they think are the better plots.
Behind you, I'd say.
This one?
No, those three.
These three, yep. And then we've got more, that top right corner, to me, is one of the better ones. But they're all the ones that have had Go Green Plus in, which is obviously an iron-containing compound, so that darkens the turf. So one of the measurements we do is a visual assessment of turf colour. That's quite a nice, easy assessment to do. Turf quality as well, that's another visual assessment. But part of the problem with them is they are purely just visual assessments. So to back all that up, we also take empirical measurements that can give us a number generated by the machine. It's not just necessarily someone's opinion. So one of them we take is its chlorophyll content, and we use quite a neat bit of kit that's called the chlorophyll meter. And this basically just fires out light at a certain wavelength, and then it measures how much light is reflected back. The more chlorophyll you have in the leaf, the more light is absorbed, and so the less light you get reflected back. So it gives a nice, easy, quick measurement to see whether this effect here is just turf darkening by the iron, or whether it's actually had a physiological effect as well on the plant. So I'll just do a quick demonstration of the kind of results we can get. I'll get an independent witness. The average.
Yep.
So that's 346. So that's quite a high reading. It goes from 0 to 1,000. And if I compare that to the untreated plot, we're now getting readings. Need your glasses. 262. So already we've seen quite big differences. So that's showing that the iron isn't just necessarily having a darkening of the turf, it's actually having a physiological effect. Iron's important in the production of chlorophyll, so it stands to reason that extra chlorophyll is produced. It's still early days in the trial. We haven't got a huge amount of disease at the moment, mainly because of the weather conditions, time of the year, but disease will creep into here. And the way we manage these trials is to actually do all the things you shouldn't do to a golf green, and that's to encourage disease. So if you come onto the trial ground, you can feel how thatchy it is. So this really holds on to the moisture when it starts raining. We don't switch it when we start getting good dews in the morning. Sometimes we can cover the trials to create a nice humid atmosphere. So all of that encourages disease into the trial, and then that's when you start seeing differences in the treatments. So all of that generates a huge amount of data. You can tell we've got a lot of plots, we're taking a lot of measurements every single week. So we do all those number crunchings, that's kind of our job, and then it's to come up with scientifically robust data that we can say that plot there is definitely different from that plot in a statistical point of view. Matt's going to tell you a bit more about the atlas. I suppose there's a much easier way of looking at the data than ours.
Brilliant. Good. Well, my name's Matthew LeBrun. I'm representing Sherriff Amenity. For these guys, I've got quite a diverse role really. Cover UK, key accounts across there, then also run the software division of Turf Reports. As well. I've come from a greenkeeping background, so we started on the tools and then progressed up through the ranks, and then obviously went into this side of the industry. We've come along with a product called Turf Reports, which is a dedicated agronomical software system, and it's built by course managers, by greenkeepers, to give you an in-depth view of what's going on at your site specifically. Without taking up too much time with building into your kind of maintenance and what you've got going already, but giving you a hell of a lot more from just individual data as well. And obviously data collection in our industry has been massive, absolutely huge. I mean, I'm a big geek, I've done a lot of it coming up through the ranks. So with this it's great. Data's brilliant, but it's only as kind of important and tells us as much as possible if it's collated together in the correct way. Otherwise we're just left with numbers, which are meaningless. So this is a way of correlating everything together and finding out the real kind of answers behind what's going on with our turf and how to obtain the optimum levels that we're all striving towards as well. So with Sherriff Amenity and the research and development and everything that goes into kind of the background of how we produce our products, the information that we give to you guys, it fits in perfectly. Using the latest technologies and everything available, and combining it with the experience of the course managers, the grounds managers, the representatives, to give you the most accurate and in-depth information possible as well. So, what I will be talking about today is Turf Reports. I'll be giving a run through of what Turf Reports is, Okay, what's the kind of capabilities of it? How can we use it, okay, to improve our processes? I've obviously only got a 15-minute kind of segment here, so I'm just going to focus on a few kind of key points. But if you want to know any more information, just come find me or your Sherriff representative. So, with being said of what it is, it's also key for me to tell you what the benefits are. How can we use this to improve our processes? What are we getting from it? You know, if we're investing in this system, what is the end result? How's this going to help us? So I'm going to run through a couple of key features, okay, that are involved in the Turf Report system, and then going to bring it back to the STRI trials and research, and just give you a bit of an insight to how we take that data, okay, and correlate it together to give us the answers quicker, faster, easier, and then actually being able to correlate them together with weather patterns, with everything else that's going on. Okay. So what is Turf Reports? Turf Reports is a dedicated agronomic software system. So it's really focusing on the end result of what we're getting and everything behind what goes there. Okay, there's a big picture to what we do. Okay, ranging from your aeration, your maintenance programs, to your inputs, to your moisture levels, the machinery you use. It's everything together, and it's being able to correlate that and make sense of it, see patterns, trends, and take action, and start being preemptive with the measures that we're doing. Okay, as well. It was released in January, and it's already used by some of the top sporting facilities in the UK. So ranging from, you know, top of the line tennis with Wimbledon to Premier League clubs, top of the line golf courses, cricket. Okay, so it's got a diverse use all over the industry already. And it's giving you a detailed analysis of all your uploaded data. Easy, quick and fast to view. And obviously coming from the greenkeeping background, I know how important time is to you guys. Okay, we're getting less and less time to do everything, but the levels that are required are going up and up. So what we wanted to design was something that's minimal input and maximum output, and fit into your regime so it makes sense to you. Okay, we're working with what you're doing at the moment, taking that and then building a process where we're getting so much more from it, a complete database of intuitive technology as well. And each turf report is built specifically to your requirements. So it's not a set thing saying, you guys need to test all 18 greens at 32 points or whatever else. It's what makes sense to you. Okay, and what fits into your maintenance regimes, what fits into your work, what are you already doing? Okay, something that we can minimal input, maximum output, work with you to design something that makes sense for you and is completely bespoke and personal as well. And it's not a fact of having kind of every single testing facility available either. A lot of the tests they do here are visual, okay, of 1 to 10. As long as it's objective, okay, and you're being fair with your assessments, okay, we can use that data. We can start seeing these patterns, trends emerging. And it allows you to easily record all of your turf health and performance data wherever you are, whenever you are. You know, so it's multi-platform. So you can use it on your phone, on your iPad, on your PC, on your BlackBerry, wherever you're doing. What I do with my customers, or what my customers mostly do, is do all the inputs on your phone. So as you're actually going round, okay, visually checking, or if you see disease or you're doing some further testing, input it in your phone and it's going straight into the system. So you're not duplicating data. You know, I know I used to do it. I used to go out there, do the test, write it down, get back inside, put it on a spreadsheet, and then try and put a report together and formulate everything from that. So it's cutting out and speeding up your processes of what you're already doing. Also, with us, with you guys, it's giving you access to your information 24/7. So again, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, whether you walk in and you've got to have a quick meeting with the Greens Committee, or you know you want to know your levels or anything else, your information is all there. Okay, and it's all correlated together in graph format, easy to view, understand, and read. Okay, as well. And it's a lot easier presenting something like that to the committee or someone else, where they can see it visually, okay, and make sense of it as well. One of the most important things for us that we've invested quite heavily in is the security behind this. If you guys are uploading data and your information is going in here, we need to make sure that it's 1,000,000% secure. Okay, and we've now got up to the highest level of security possible from Google. Security is built into your system, so you use your own email, okay, you make up your own password, and everything is 100% secure to you. Okay, your information isn't going to be used, it's not going to be put anywhere, it's you guys that are viewing it. Okay. Any questions so far? We good? Brilliant. So the benefits of using it, what do we get out of it? As I said, this is completely bespoke. The upload is all to your design, your recommendations of what you want. Okay, it's very, very easy, very simple. So you're only uploading the data that you want and makes sense to your course. Okay, and it's the easiest way to view, upload, and see all of your data. Everything's there at a snapshot view, okay, as well. And with this, you also get an individual view, okay, of each green or each pitch or whatever else you're doing. So if you are testing, you probably would just test your indicator greens, okay, 2 or 3 greens constantly, okay, whatever you're doing. Everyone knows what greens or pitches, okay, are going to occur disease first or are good indicators to what's going on for the rest of the course. So with this, we can pull the information from that exact green, okay, that exact section, and start making sense of that and looking into the parameters of what we want to find. So whether it be moisture, firmness, speed, you know, whatever, correlate together, giving us an in-depth view instantly of what's going on and how to improve the processes. And with that as well, just by inputting a number or selecting a box, you're automatically getting a complete historical database. Okay, of all your averages, everything as well in, you know, complete dictation of everything that's happened. Okay, when it's happened, why it's happened. So year upon year data just gets better and better, and then being able to correlate back to that. With historic data as well, what we're able to do, if you do have any data already from previous years, okay, you send that to the Turf Reports team and it instantly gets uploaded into your system. Okay, I've done this with a few guys who have given me 10, 15 years, okay, who's got in there, which is probably a bit excessive. But even a year's, 2 years data, you then instantly got a system that's kind of 2 years old, and you're already being able to see patterns, trends, and what's going on, and start making sense of the data. And it fits perfectly for Sherriffs and what we're doing with the trial work as well. So we've been able to go back through all of our old trial data, upload it into the system, and combine all that together to give us a clear indication of all the answers and everything else that we're looking for, of a snapshot view, what's working, what's not working, and then being able to combine that with everything else, the weather conditions, the rainfall, the temperatures, to give you guys the most accurate and in-depth information that we possibly can, all done for us. And then, as I said, this allows us to then see trends, patterns, okay, what's happening, and then take action. So we can be preemptive with what we're doing in our measures, or if things start to replicate year upon year, you get an identification for that as well. Also includes turf records, okay, which is a complete new online application record, okay, which gets rid of your chemical spray book. It's 5 minutes, I think. Okay. With this, it's similar to that. You input what you're doing, okay, what you sprayed down, and then it instantly works out all your NPK levels, macronutrients, micronutrients, and a lot more. So this is what Turf Reports looks like if we get a little bit closer. There you go. So this is what the Turf Reports looks like, okay, and what we create is a golf version. Here's a football version there. Okay, so as a snapshot view, what we get, these are all of our features across the top here. Okay, these are all of our individual greens for an in-depth view, and then you've got a snapshot view of all of your data on the dashboard system. Now, even from loading that up, we can start to see these patterns. Okay, we can start to see where we have these dips, why it's happening, and correlate these together. Okay, figure out the exact uniformity of what's going on with our turf. Okay, as well. This is also used as a communication tool. I've got a couple of guys. I deal mainly football. Reading Football Club is one of mine. With him as well, he uses this to communicate with the goalkeeping staff. Okay, so he's having problems with high wear areas. Okay, always being battered at the same time. So he's put this up in the foyer. Okay, the goalkeeping staff walk in, and he has pitch usage, turf quality, okay, hours spent on their turf uniformity, and they can look at that instantly and know where to go, okay, to spread the wear and all the rest of it as well. And also using this for kind of committees or members, okay, putting up the green speeds and weather coming in as well. It's an instant kind of communication between you and those guys. A couple of key features, okay, that I'll go through. Turf weather, okay, that's the latest feature that we've released. This is all automated, okay, so you don't need to input anything for this. This is specifically designed for the Amenity section, where we have access to nearly 5,000 weather stations across the UK. Okay, it's all done by your postcode. So you don't need to actually buy a weather station, you put your postcode in, okay, and it then pulls all the data from the nearest scientific weather station. So it's pulling your maximum temperature, your minimum temperature, your rainfall, predicted snow cover, etc. You then get a 45-day forecast, okay, of works, what the weather's going to do coming into it, which gives us a great overview, okay, for either planning work or renovations. Or at the start of this year, it was brilliant because obviously it was so slow. And when sitting there with the customers, you know, working out what source of nitrogen we're going to use or anything like that, I was able to actually go, well, look, it's not actually going to warm up until May, you know, a more in-depth view. So we're able to switch the kind of source of nitrogen around to quickly get it moving a bit faster, so you're not sitting there waiting for it to warm up. You're preempting what you're doing, okay, as well. With this, it brings your weather data to life. So you've got graphs, charts, which are easily identifiable. And you've got your predicted versus your actual. Okay, graph format coming in. Very, very easy, simple layout. And also able to backdate through what you've had in the past. Also, automatically filling in your growth degree days, okay, GDDs. So working out your growth, monthly growth potential, okay, and everything else behind that. If you guys haven't got into growth degree days, I'd suggest having a look at it. There's loads that you can pinpoint from it. Again, especially this year, it was great because we were able to actually look. It didn't actually start kicking off until mid-May in my area. Normally, you'd be looking at kind of March. But this is, I think, a great algorithm. But the problem with before is it needs to be site-specific. It needs to be exactly what you're doing, okay, which it does, pulls information. We can then start working out fertiliser longevity, when your POA's going to seed, when your PGRs are going to need applying. So much behind that. Also, looking into something that we all dread walking out and seeing, turf disease, okay, on here as well. And again, with all this, we're trying to reduce the amount of fungicides. We're trying to reduce the amount of damage caused by disease. And this is where we can use the system by just simply, there you go, that's part of the upload for the disease. Select, if you walk out on the course, I've seen disease, select where you've seen it. There's a drop-down box of each disease. Select the disease, severity, curative measure you've taken, whether it be a chemical application or fed it out or whatever. You then get a complete database and analysis of every disease that's happened, okay, at your course. Why it's happened, when it's happened, where it's happened, what active ingredient you've used or what measure you've used to get rid of that disease. Okay, what the system then does is pulls all of your data. As soon as you've hit disease, it then correlates all that together, okay, from your temperatures to your moistures to your thatch levels, and actually gives you an algorithm of what's caused that disease at your site specifically. Okay, as soon as those circumstances start to replicate and diseases like these happen, you then get an email. Okay, so it's preempting you as well. The more and more you use the system, the tighter and tighter those algorithms get. Okay, and again, it's not just for the kind of big clubs. A lot of the local clubs I've used have had great results with this, with saving budgets, with fungicides and everything else. And even simple things such as aeration. Okay, we go into there. We're simply inputting your tine size and what you've done. It's automatically calculating your surface area removed, impacted, and everything that's gone with it. So you're working on organic matter levels or your top dressing program. These can all be kind of filtered together. So that's a real quick run through. Also want to look at turf records. Okay, and again, this is replacing your application record book. Easily storing all of your data safely and securely online, which is accessible by 24/7. Automatically calculating your macro and micronutrients, so all of your NPK and everything else that goes into it. Then also filters out every single bit of information. So if you want to know how many fungicides you put on, fertilizers, seaweeds, everything's segregated, okay, as well, and also between greens, tees, approaches, fairways, or wherever it may be. And from a health and safety point of view, you've also then got a complete document list of who sprayed it, they were wearing all PPE, okay, and everything else that goes behind the legislation. So it goes above and beyond just by inputting what you normally would, okay, as well. So how have we used this in a trial scenario? It works perfectly because it's data collation altogether. Okay, so what we've done, this is turf quality. So this is part of the testings they're doing there. And again, this testing is very early on. So as the disease pressure increases and everything else starts moving forward, you'll see these exaggerated, no worries. So even by this, a snapshot view, we're easily getting the answers very, very quickly without actually correlating anything together. So you can see the patterns and trends emerging. So we're nearly finished, and it's the same with turf fresh weights, working out your averages, seeing your patterns, trends and everything happening, and trueness. So in a kind of wrap up, by doing kind of what we're doing anyway, but by using the latest technology, it's giving us so much more, so many more answers that we can be intuitive and proactive with gaining the optimum levels of turf. Thank you very much for listening. Sorry it was a squash presentation, but I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah? No worries.